Hello everybody, it's Dana Sullivan, the Stampin' Chick here for September's Paper Pumpkin. Hello pumpkin kit. Look at this beautiful box. Isn't it adorable? Hello friends. I see some folks coming in. Make sure you say hello. Oh, there we are. I see lots of folks coming in. All right, so the September's Paper Pumpkin Kit, a wonderful thing that Stampin' Up! Has done this year is instead of making it just Halloween, they have made it either Halloween or a happy fall y'all kind of thing, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Hello, Miss Deborah. Hello, Miss Carolyn. I hope you're all doing well. Hello to everyone else. I see lots of folks coming in. Thank you so much. So I just got my kit yesterday and I didn't think that I would have a whole lot of time to work on it. But the kit is absolutely beautiful and it lends itself to a lot of fabulous alternative projects. So it was quite easy to get a few samples put together for you. So I'm thankful for that. So let's get right into it, shall we? Oh, hello everybody. Thank you all so much for coming. Okay, so first and foremost, when you open the kit, you got a flyer for the Joy to the World Paper Pumpkin Kit, which is next month's kit. And Stampin' Up! And Paper Pumpkin have put together a special Facebook group for this kit so that you can find a pen pal and you can get to know new people. And it's all geared towards folks from all over the world getting to know each other, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're not already in the group, you can find it by searching. I'm pretty sure you can search Joy to the World Paper Pumpkin, and you'll find the group right away, and you can request to join the group there. And so this is going to be a lot of fun. It's one of the few kits that are introduced all over the world. So as you already know, Paper Pumpkin is mostly a North American thing. So it's the US and Canada. But occasionally they do a special kit that gets to go everywhere. And next month's kit is going to be one of them. It doesn't say anything really about... Okay, yes it does. The kit includes supplies for 8 elegant holiday cards and is perfect for connecting with people you love during the festive time. So the kit is going to be a card kit, which means that most of my alternatives are going to be something other than cards. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what the contents look like. They usually base things off of the box, or they base the box off of the contents. So one can only hope that it's got this similar vibe to it, because that'll be a lot of fun, won't it? All right, now, for this kit, we are talking about treats. Lots of cute little treat holders. These are cracker boxes, and as you can see from the picture, it's got a reversible design on the crackers themselves. So that way you can do a fall or Halloween design. There were lots and lots and lots of elements in this kit. I was blown away when I saw how much stuff was inside here. So, with that in mind, one of our members, Miss Catherine Hall, had posted a little video, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, about an organizer that she had made for her Paper Pumpkin supplies. And when she did that, I saw how much stuff we were going to be getting. And so I borrowed her idea because it was a fantastic idea. So if you like the idea, I suggest that you look for her video and she puts in how she made her tray, but I made a tray to put my supplies in, and as you can see, you kind of need something. Ziploc baggies, or the tray was really easy to do, but there's so much stuff. So it was definitely worth making a tray for. I made mine just a little different because I wanted a few more compartments, but I did it the exact same way that she did. So go check out her video on the Groupies page. You'll find it on the wall. And she's got measurements over there, and make sure that you give her props for putting that idea together because it was fabulous. It was a great idea. Okay, so the stamp set that goes along with this kit is a blend of fall and Halloween. It was perfectly suited, I think. So you have a Happy Halloween. You've got a beautiful little fall pumpkin, but then you can also turn it into a jack-o'-lantern, which I thought was great. You've got a little smaller jack-o'-lantern face that fits these beautiful little die-cut punched pumpkins, which was great. There are a couple of cute little leaves, a little flower that matches the flowers on the hat, which the way that it's done up on the stamp, it could be a beautiful little fall hat or a witch's hat. So it was perfect for both. And then the sentiments on top of the Halloween one are super cute too. There's a give thanks, hello pumpkin, and then trick or treat, spooky and sweet. I love it. This stamp set is absolutely adorable. And, you know, like I said, I just got the kit yesterday, so the samples that I've done for you are relatively quick, and I can't wait to come back and play with it a little bit more and get some more out-of-the-box ideas going. So you'll want to stay tuned for those, but the stamp set is adorable, and it's going to make all sorts of fabulous projects. And then the ink pad that comes in this month's kit is Cajun Craze, which of course I already have the full-size ink pad, so I'm just going to use that one. And then I'm also going to be using Memento Black, I think. I'm not entirely sure just yet. And then for the crackers, you've got 20 of these beautiful. One side is a nice cinnamon cider. Is that the name of the color? I'm still remembering. A nice gingham color. And then on the other side, you've got a fabulous pumpkin pie striped Halloween color. So it's great. And these things are really sturdy. They're a good thick cardstock. And they're already scored for you, so it makes putting this project together super easy. One thing I will tell you, it's kind of two things that I did right off the bat. Let me just scoot this out of the way. Obviously, I punched out all of the bits from the kit because there were so many of them and they were tiny. So I found that the tray was really super helpful, but there's all these little bits that needed to be punched out, especially these little swirly things. I don't know about you, but I struggled a little bit to get these out. They wanted to grab on everything. They were like a little kid in a candy store, you know, you couldn't get their hands together. So, but I did punch everything out ahead, as you can see, and so I was left with those negative spaces, and I just wanted to touch on that right quick before anyone had the opportunity to throw them away, because you know that I really like utilizing the negative spaces wherever I can. So one of them is this one here. It has the labels and the white flowers. I cut it apart, and you know, when you make a mask, you really don't need very much edge all around, but you do need just a little edge. So I was careful about cutting this apart so that I'd have a tiny bit of edge left over, and I could make a couple of masks. So I've got these ones made already. I'll make these ones up later. But I have posted a video. I believe it's in the group on the wall somewhere, but it's also on my YouTube channel, Sullivan, goodness, the Stampin' Chick, Dana Sullivan. Slow down, Dana. You can find it over on my YouTube channel, and it shows you how I make a mask. So you can see how I go from this to this, right? And it's super simple and easy, but it makes it a reusable thing that you can use for a long time. Makes it really nice and sturdy and able to be used a lot. So I love that. And then these pieces were absolutely fabulous because all the color is already here, and I don't know if you happen to notice that there's a good 1/8 of an inch all the way around each of the pieces. So I cut them apart so that I've got different colors of cardstock mats, right? And I have one project already done, an alternative project that I'm going to be able to share with you, that I'm using one of these pieces so you can see. Actually, I think I've done two. I may have done two, that I'm using these as matte backgrounds. So by the time you put a layer of white or vanilla cardstock over the front and leave just a little border around there, it looks like it's a whole piece of cardstock. So don't throw these away. That's the lesson in this. Save everything because you can use it. So these are going to be layers for cards, right? And then also the little bits that I punched out of these, this was kind of fun because I packed them together and I was able to just punch through all of them all at once. So when you keep them clapped together really tightly, you can push through the whole thing at once, and it's kind of satisfying to push them all out in one time. And so I have a project using these as well, so you're going to love that. Okay. So let's get to our project, shall we? I'm going to set that off to the side. I've already got the stamps on blocks. So I'm going to do one of each. I'll do one fall one and then I'll do one Halloween one. Okay, so that way we've got an idea. You'll have in your kit a little baggie that's got a roll of black and a roll of white twine, and that's so that you can use it for either fall or Halloween. And then it's also got some adhesive strip in here, which is fantastic. This is like beautiful. It's like tearing tape, but it's pre-done for you just the right size. So this is great. And of course you've got your adhesive dots and then your Stampin' dimensionals, so everything you need in your kit. Okay, so going by the instructions, which I love, the big clear pictures this time, they are great. And they have all of this stuff cut out, and I love that they kind of showed a little sort of order to, here's the fall collection, here's the Halloween collection, and did you notice that in this picture they've also assembled some of the little element pieces together, which was neat. Alright, let's grab one of our little crackers, and all you're going to do is press on the score lines all the way across. Hello, hello. I see more folks coming in. This is so exciting. There's a good share of you today. Thank you. Okay, and now I'm not going to use the little adhesive strips. I'm going to use some tear and tape. I'm going to save those adhesive strips to be able to put them in card classes to go. So I'm kind of cheating. I'm using the stuff that's here that I can't exactly pack up. There we go. It's just being wise with my supplies, isn't it? Alright, so you want to put your adhesive strip down on one of your tabs, And actually, just as I did that, you really want it to be closer to the fold more so than the edge. So let me just put another one right here on this section. You don't really need it so much on the outside ones, but definitely that inside panel. Alright, grab the Take Your Pick tool. I love this thing to pull the backings off. I think I say that every single time because it's so true. Alright. And then you can fold two over and then fold, but it doesn't work that way with this one because there's an extra panel. So just line it up here and tack it down. There we go. It's kind of an awkward shape, isn't it? Typically, you would be able to lay the two together like that and overlap them and they would go, but this one's an odd shape. Alright, now because we've got the Halloween side out, we'll take some of our black twine. The instruction says approximately 12 inches. And you folks know that I like to keep it attached to my spool until I'm ready to use it. So on one end, you could double tie it if you wanted to so that it didn't come loose. Or if you want to be able to open both ends, just leave it tied one time so that they can untie it and not have to cut it. And then we'll tie our little bow right here. And then this end would be ready to fill with whatever we wanted to fill it with. Let me grab my snips. There we are. So we've got that side. And then we can tie off the other side and then put our pieces together here for our, like that. Let me turn it roughly the same corner here so that my bows are in the same spot. That's helpful. There we go. How many of you guys have already put your crackers together? Are any of you getting them all done already? I know quite a few of you had your kits before I did. So I've seen a few alternative projects, which is a lot of fun. I love seeing what everybody comes up with. Now here's the time for me to put this disclaimer. So we are live right now and you're seeing the red live icon in the upper left hand side. But if you happen to see this on the replay in the Paper Pumpkin groupies or perhaps on YouTube, if you're seeing this on YouTube, this is definitely a replay, and if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber in the US or Canada, you should certainly join the Paper Pumpkin groupies over on Facebook so that you can join us live next month. Alright, there's my little disclaimer. And okay, so we've got our little cracker put together, and now we just need to assemble our little design. So for the Halloween one, should we do a cat or should we do a witch's hat? What do you think? I am not sure which one I like better. They're both super adorable. Let's do... Does anybody have a preference right off the bat? Witch hat or kitty cat? That sounds fun. There's the witch hat. There's the kitty cat. Alright, I see a hat one. We'll go with the hat. First one in is the winner. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to follow the instruction for this one right here. So I'm going to take one of these beautiful little delicate things here. I love them. And if you notice on this particular project, the little doily looking piece is white, and that's because they've just flipped it over. So we'll do that with this one. So there's that piece. And then we need one of the little green swirlies. See, this little tray comes in super handy at this point. I need a white flower. I need a yellow flower. Isn't it so easy to pull things out that way? And then I need an orange one with a leaf. There we go. And I think that's good. Oh, the little white label. We need that. There we go. Okay. All right, now on this one, we have that adorable little trick-or-treat spooky and sweet. And because these are photopolymer stamps, of course, we want to use a pierce mat if we have one. Or if you don't have a pierce mat, you can use a catalog or a magazine or whatever. So let's tap, 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 not smush, smush, smush. Nice and easy. And then stamp as straight as we can get it here. There we go, not too bad. Close up the ink pad so I don't get it all over me. All right, now then, we're going to assemble everything with this as our base. And then we're going to put this little swirly piece right about here. The hat is going to go at an angle like so. And then the flowers will cluster up here. And this piece will go over the top just like that. So I'm going to use some liquid glue. You can use your little adhesive dots or whatever you like. And I know that the bottom half of this section here is going to be glued, so I'm going to put my finger where I don't want the glue, and that will remind me of where to go. And then I'm just going to lightly dot some little bits of glue right there, and then lay the piece on. Approximately there. Now I think that I'd like to put some dimensionals on here, so let me grab some dimensionals, and I'm going to use some of my scraps here. And when I put the hat on, it's going to go at an angle, so I know I don't want the top of the hat or that side to have dimensions, so I'm just going to put my finger over that area. And I'll tell you, doing this has actually saved me more times than I can count. By putting my finger over where I do not want glue to go, I have managed not to glue cards shut and have managed not to have project pieces going everywhere and sticking down to things I didn't want them to stick down to. So as you can see, it's covering things in an appropriate way, and it works out beautifully. Alright, now this piece needs to go on here, and I'm gonna attach a little dimensional to this side and a little glue to this side. So because this is already popped up and I want it, actually I'll just put the dimensional right on top of the little label, that way I know it's going to be fine. And I'll put just a little bit of liquid glue on this side. There we go. Let's pull the backing off the dimensional there. And something to this effect. Of course, it doesn't have to be exact, and mine's likely to be slightly different anyway. There we go. Okay, and now I don't know if I want to just attach it down or if I want to pop it up, but I think I'm leaning towards popping it up because it really makes that lacy background stand out beautifully. So in order to do that without the adhesive being seen through, I'm just going to put dimension where there's coverage. So this way it hides your adhesive as well. So I can put one here, and let me move this one down just a little bit right there. There we go. And this way I can pop up that label and no one will ever see the strings attached. Alright, now I've got my bows right there, so I want it to go approximately there. This is a super cute little treat holder. Okay, now I need this piece to go down first. So let me put a little bit of adhesive. Yep. All right. So I'll put that down right about there. And then, oh, I want it to go a little lower actually. There we go. And I think there's a smaller white one. Yes, there we go. So I'll put a little smaller white one on. And you don't need very much glue, just the tiniest little dab will do ya. Let's turn this around so that long petal is out of the way, so that I can get that flower in a little closer, just like that. And then this one will go right over the top. And I'm not really putting adhesive all the way around the flower petals. I'm really just kind of hanging it out in the center. That way it's not going to get glue everywhere when I set it down on my piece. It'll just glue where I want it to glue and it'll be good. Alright, there we go. Halloween project is done already. That was super fast, wasn't it? And that is absolutely adorable. I love that. So cute. Alright, let's do a fall one now. So I'm going to turn the cracker over so that the gingham side is showing. And we'll just fold on the score lines. Here we go. Now you certainly could burnish it down with the bone folder, and you probably should. I'm not going to do that just because of the sake of time. Okay, I'm going to put one little piece right in the middle there, one little piece in the middle there, and then one piece on this edge. And I'm going to put another piece on this edge, but I really don't think you need two pieces. You could probably just put one piece on the edge with the folded edge right there, but that's okay. Alright, nothing like making sure you get it really good and stuck. Okay, I can tell you that I have not in a long time been more excited for a paper pumpkin kit than I was for this one, because here in East Tennessee this week the weather has gone cool and crisp and absolutely gorgeous. I love the fall air. And even though it's gonna be back up to 80 degrees this weekend, I am enjoying every single minute of the beautiful fall air that is outside. So this project was a lot of fun because I'm so ready for fall I can hardly stand myself. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, and of course depending on where you live, you may or may not be as excited for fall, but I am. I love East Tennessee and I love the summertime, but oh my goodness, it can get blazing hot super fast and it lasts forever. So when it cools off even a bit, when it's cool enough for hoodies and bonfires and hot cider and, oh my goodness, that is my time. I love it. All right, there we go. Now we've got our little white bow this time. I see Miss Janice from Arizona. Is it Lakita? You're in East Tennessee. Oh, you're in Pikeville. Oh, hey, we're neighbors, sort of. I'm east of Knoxville, in Jefferson County. I love it out here. We're at the foothills, and it's just beautiful out here. So if you're out here too, you know the weather has turned so pretty. All right, let's. Whoa, what am I doing here? There we go. That's cool. I know there are a few Tennessee gals here. We should maybe think about trying to get together at some point when COVID lets up, if COVID ever lets up. Oh, you know, there's a spot, there's a town called Dandridge that is east of Kodak, Pigeon Forge area, and it has a beautiful overlook, a mountain type overlook, that's on Douglas Lake, and it has a really pretty pavilion up there that has some tables and chairs. Well, not chairs, but it's like picnic tables with seating, and a covered pavilion. And the view is absolutely spectacular. That would make a great little get-together place sometime, maybe late spring, maybe, you know, fall would be great, but, you know, with COVID, who knows who wants to travel, or, you know, it's kind of strange, but maybe if we can get together in the spring, or if not, surely by next fall, which of course, you know, with the changing of the leaves and everything here, it's an absolutely gorgeous view out there. It's amazing. If you're close enough to take that trip, Lakita, it's worth traveling over, and of course, it's right outside of Sevierville and Pigeon Forge, so there's plenty of things to do over there, but it's just beautiful. Okay, friends. So, we did the hat for the Halloween one, so I'm not going to do the hat for the fall. Actually, it looks like they did it for Halloween, just a different one anyhow. So I'm going to do this little Hello Pumpkin, because I think that one is super cute. So we need one of the big and small pumpkin cluster. And then we're going to need another small one. And you know, there were a lot of these in the kit. My goodness, there were enough to do all 20 of the crackers and still have some. So that one's really nice. And then we need a yellow flower. Not one with the leaf. Hold on here. The only downside of the weather changing is that every year I get, and I'm pretty sure that it's allergies related, like hay fever type allergies related, but my throat gets scratchy, and as you can tell, I'm clearing my throat. It's not the Rona, it's allergies. I'm definitely one of those people that need that shirt. It's not the Rona, it's allergies. But I get the sneezy and the watery eyes and all the fun stuff that goes along with allergies. But it is my most favorite time of year, so it's worth it to me. That should tell you how beautiful it is here in the fall. If it's worth putting up with allergies for, it's beautiful. Alright, so we have that one, and I can't see. Looks like there's a cinnamon cider one too. Is that all I need? Oh, the little Hello Pumpkin strip right here. Oh, count you in. Good. Yeah. just keep in touch with me here, and I will definitely make an announcement because I think it'd be a lot of fun. So once I get a reasonable clearance that people are okay to travel and gather, and of course it's outside, so you know it would be great. It would be fairly safe, I think, even now, but yeah, sometime next year, I think, when everything is settled down more, let's plan to get together. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Okay, so I have the cracker made, and actually I've gone away from this one just slightly already because they used black strings. Listen, I'm not going to be persnickety about doing it exactly if you're not going to be persnickety about it. It's okay. Use white strings, use black strings, whichever ones you want to use. Okay, I've got my big and medium pumpkin. I've got my small pumpkin. I've got the little strip for hello pumpkin. I have the yellow flower. I've got the small black, the bigger black. I've got the cinnamon cider swirly. I've got the, is that Mango Melody? That is Bumblebee swirl, and I think we've got it all. So here we go. Now with this one we're using the pumpkins as our base, where the other one we used the lattice background. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. As I mentioned the sneezing, there's one. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. This is where we go back to the classic use your elbows business. Okay. All right. So we've got our pumpkin base here, and we're going to layer that up. And I want to just glue the little swirlies behind. So one of them, listen, fingers work for me here. One of them goes kind of up that way. The other one goes out this way. And it layers on something to this effect. So I'm just going to layer these behind here. Thank you, Denise. I appreciate that. All right. As long as it doesn't get too carried away, and, you know, then you've got to blow your nose, and that's disgusting, and, you know, you don't go out in public because if you sneeze, people look at you like you've got the plague, and it's awful. Alright, so I'm going to use my liquid glue again, and I'm just putting some little dots of glue here. There we go. And I'm going to put that kind of out just like so. There we go. And then I'm going to put the cinnamon cider one up a little bit higher. So we'll go here. There we are. There we go. Okay. Now, alright, now I'm going to put the black flower right there. And the yellow flower is going to get glued up behind the little pumpkin. So it's going to sit something like that. And then this little pumpkin is going to go on a dimensional. So right off the bat, I can do that. And then the little black flower is going to go just under the edge. So what I'm going to do is that long petal that kind of sticks out, that bugger's getting the glue on it. Okay, so we'll go just like so. Very good. And then let's put same thing here. Let's get that longer petal. You know, that long petal is really good for tucking it away. Alright, just like so. I want it to kind of be behind the pumpkin and in front of the little swirly piece, so I just tuck it right in there. And that's good. And then I'm gonna put this pumpkin piece right there. And I'll put a little glue around the big black flower, and I'm gonna kind of tuck it in just a little bit. All right, so just like that. And then we need to stamp Hello Pumpkin on our label. All right, so I've got Hello Pumpkin and my Cajun Craze. Tap, 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 not smush, smush, smush. Let's get our Pierce mat here. And this one's a little harder to see without getting in the way, so I hope I'm straight. Yeah, not bad. Alright, so I'll set that there for just a second. Close this up so I don't get it all over me. Alright, now this one I can put a little mini dimensional on this side and then a little liquid glue on this side so it can go just like that. So let me grab a mini dimensional and I'm gonna put it right about here. And then I'll put just a little liquid glue right about here. And all I'm doing is putting it in basically a line. So you can see I'm putting the mini dimensional there and then the liquid glue is directly across from it. This way you don't have to worry about it going off the edge. And I'm going to be able to line it up very nicely. Just like so. There we go. That is super adorable. Alright, now I am also going to put this on dimension, so let me grab a couple of these here. One can go here, and one can go here, and we'll give those a little bit of a press. These things are really simple and easy to put together, almost therapeutic in putting all of the layers on there. So let's just put that right like so. I love it. Adorable. I got that one just a little bit looser, but I'm not going to untie it. So there you go. Wouldn't these be super cute for those of you who have kids at home who can send these to school? And, you know, if you don't, these would be beautiful to put on a coworker's desk with some chocolates. I don't know if you guys had seen, the other day I posted a little treat box that had these in it, little pumpkin pie Kit Kats. What? And I thought they were so fun, and the treat holder was great, and it held two of the mini Kit Kats. So since this one's loose and I need to retie it anyways, let's go ahead and see how many Kit Kats we can fit in here. I'm thinking probably only 2. Yep, only 2 are gonna go, but that's okay. 2 is good. Tennille, yes, I love the color. I went to the shop and got them done. I wanted a teal color for fall. And then when I got home, I realized that it is literally Pretty Peacock. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that's going to tie us into the alternative projects that I've done so far. And I'll show you also a piece of Pretty Peacock cardstock so you can see how close it really is. I was super excited when I realized that. So let me just tie this up here. And there we go. So now it's got a couple of little pumpkin pie Kit Kats, which are perfect for the theme. And this is going to go in the mailbox for my postal worker. I think that she'll love that. So, all right, so there is the project for the kit itself. And so you can see a Halloween and a fall themed one. They're super, super adorable. I absolutely love them. And now, let me grab a piece of pretty peacock cardstock here. Check it out. Is that not wild? It's almost a dead perfect match. So this one is an interesting one. The folks that I have my nails done use an OPI gel color for all of their gel polish, and they all have the coolest names. And the coralish, pinkish red one that I really like, that makes me look like I have a tan, that one's called My Chihuahua Will Bite You. And I get so tickled by the name of it. This one is hilarious and incredibly risque and wildly inappropriate for young people. But it's called, Is That a Sword in Your Pocket? I just love it. It kills me every time. I could literally look through the polishes just to see the names. They're hilarious. I love it. Okay, moving right along from all of that, I'm going to show you some alternative projects, and I'm going to start with this one because this one is the one that is the most closely related to this month's projects in the kit. Okay, so here are the crackers from the kit, and this one is just cut so that basically I've cut right here at the score line. I've cut this whole section off, and then I scored in at 7/8 of an inch to make the bottom. Okay, so that's how I did this one, and it's small enough to put a couple of Hershey's Kisses in here. I could put a couple of individually wrapped little Rolo chocolates. I don't know that I could get a Lind truffle in here. You might be able to, but I'm not entirely sure. I wouldn't tell you that because I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, it's big enough to have a couple of little chocolates in here. You know what else you can put in here? Of course, you could put some M&Ms, but I have some caramels. You could definitely fit a couple of fall caramels in there. That'd be fun. So there's that one. And with this one, I just used one of the black filigree labels. I used the white one and stamped Have a Happy Halloween in Mossy Meadow. And then I used the cat, and of course I put dimension between each of the layers. I used our Rhinestone Basic Jewels and the Dark Pumpkin Pie Stampin' Blends to make the beautiful little rhinestones that match perfectly. I have advocated that before. I've mentioned it multiple times in various videos, and I still swear by it. Grab a package of clear dimension or clear rhinestones and get you a handful of Stampin' Blends. You will not be sorry. Okay, so that's this one. And then let me set that off to the side here. And moving along with the Halloween theme, I'll do those first. Project number 2. This is actually the trim piece that I cut off of this one. And I just cut a tiny little edge off either side of it so that it would fit on my layer. And I've put a little 1/2-inch strip of basic black behind one side. I have put it up on dimension, so the white layer is attached directly to the card base, which is Granny Apple Green. And then I've wrapped some black twine twice. And this stamp set is not from the kit. I actually used the Everything Essential stamp set. I used the trick or treat here and the bats here. So I did use that on here, but this piece and the twine are from the kit. And then on the inside, I used the trick or treat spooky and sweet from the kit, and then I brought the bats in from the other stamp set. And the envelope, because what do I always say? No naked insides and no naked envelopes. So you have a beautifully matched envelope to the card. So this is project alternative number 2. And I love being able to use all of the elements. So when you cut something off, make sure that you save it, because inevitably you can use it somewhere. So just remember that and keep those on hand. And speaking of saving everything, you remember I told you that I had made a project alternative using these scraps. So now you get to see what that looks like. It's a little labor intensive, however, I love the way it turned out. So I've taken all of the orange striped ones facing up and did glue them individually. I started with this row first, so I lined it up how I knew I needed to so that it would fit how I wanted, and then I glued it down. And then I just worked my way over, starting with this one, I lined it up, and then this one, and this one, this one, this one, so on. And then started back down here at the bottom, and went up, over, up, you get the idea. Okay, and then I'm using the layering circles with pumpkin pie for the scalloped circle, and a whisper white stitched circle for the background here, and the witch's hat, which is so cute by itself. I just put it on dimensionals as well, put a little black twine bow, and that's the front of the card. And then on the inside, I brought in the pumpkin pie coloring, and so I stamped the sentiment in pumpkin pie and stamped the witch's hat in black, and then colored the pumpkin with Stampin' blends. And I'm going to show you how to do this because, you know, Stampin' blends are a lot of fun. And if you know that it's so basic and easy to make a beautifully highlighted color, you'll see how easy they are to use, and it's just so much fun. So I'm going to show you how I did the pumpkin because I really love that fall look to it. And then the envelope, I did the same thing as I did on the card inside. I just stamped the hat and then colored in only the pumpkin itself, and then trick or treat spooky and sweet on the flap. So that's alternative project number 3. And then I think the rest of them are all fall projects. Okay, so I didn't do too many of the Halloween ones just yet. I know that a lot of folks are more into fall than they are Halloween, though I admit I love Halloween. I love the scary movies. I love decorating my house. I love seeing the kids out trick-or-treating in town. And it's just such a fun time. But fall is my favorite season of the year. So, all right. With this alternative project, I've got a pumpkin pie base, whisper white cardstock background, and then I brought in some of the plaid tidings. Yes, plaid tidings designer series paper. It's perfect for these projects. And there is one of the layers. Remember I told you that I had used some of these for layers, so you can't even tell that that has holes all through it, right? And so it makes a perfect little background that I didn't have to cut from regular cardstock, and I got to use scraps that I would have otherwise thrown away, which I love. And then I've taken 5 of the little pumpkin die cut pieces from the kit. I wrapped twine around the green and white panel before I attached it with dimensionals. And then there's one of the little lace panels and that Hello Pumpkin. It's so cute and sweet. And then on the inside, I just put one of the die cut pumpkins and did the same thing for the envelope so that it matches beautifully. All right, so I don't know, what is this? Alternative project number 4. I try really hard to do at least 6 alternative projects for you guys. I believe I did 7 this time, but this kit was just so much fun to play with. Alright, with this one, I did the pumpkin pie base again. I used the other half of my sheet of cardstock, and a piece of Whisper White cardstock for that layer. Again, I used a little of the plaid tiding strip here. Just a 1/2-inch strip is fine. It's barely tucked behind here. I used a piece of Mossy Meadow, oh my goodness, Mossy Meadow, and some Versamark. And those 2 little adorable leaf stamps, that's what I used to make the background here. So I just stamped them in Versamark and put them across the whole background. And then some dimensionals on the back of the 2 pumpkin piece, another dimensional on the single pumpkin. I tied a little bow and attached it with a glue dot there. Hello Pumpkin in pumpkin pie ink, and then again with the rhinestones, coloring them with the pumpkin pie Stampin' Blends, and it's just adorable. And then on the inside, an example of why you should use Memento ink when you're going to color the image. When I used Stampin' Write markers to color the pumpkin, and then I used Stampin' Blends to color it in after the fact. The Stampin' Blends actually washed away some of the color from the Stampin' Write markers. So stamp it in Memento Black and then color it in. But it makes a very pretty watercolored type look, so I'm going with it. And then on the outside, I used the Stampin' Write markers to color the stamp, and just stamped it plain without coloring it in, and then just a few little leaves on the flap. So it kind of ties in the leaves there, and then ties in the pumpkin from the inside of the card. Alright, so that is alternative project number 5. Okay, Miss Tennille, alternative project number 6 brings in that lovely, pretty peacock blue. You're absolutely right. This is a gorgeous fall color. I love it. All right, with this one, I used Mossy Meadow cardstock for the background, Whisper White layer for the front. I used my mask that I created and various shades of oranges and yellows. So I started with Cajun Craze, I used Pumpkin Pie, Mango Melody, Crushed Curry, and then Bumblebee. So those are the colors I used to fade up the squares or rectangles. And there are 3 here and there are 4 on the paper, so I had just lined it up like so and used the sponge daubers to color it in, and then faded it up as I went. And then when I got the 3 done, I lined those 2 up and did the 4th one. Okay, super simple. And then I just stamped some of the leaves, like falling leaves, or, you know, when the dogs or the kids are out playing in the pile of leaves and leaves are flying everywhere. That's what that reminded me of, so I thought that was great. And I stamped Give Thanks in Memento Black ink with this one. I used one of the black lace panels, and then some leaves and a flower and a little swirly and one of the pumpkins. And on this one, it is the little die cut pumpkin. Let me just get it out here. And I cut away all of the stuff that's just kind of floating around there. So I cut it really close to the edge of the pumpkin itself. And that's what I've put on there. And I actually used the back of the instructions here as inspiration. So you can see the hat right there. If you've not noticed on the back of your instructions that there are alternative project suggestions on there, it's a great place to look for more ideas. And so I took this one as inspiration, and that's where I got this. And then I added some stuff in there, and I used Wink of Stella, which I don't know if it picks up. It usually doesn't. But I added some Wink of Stella to the little flower on the hat, to the black flowers, to the little swirly, and the pumpkin, just to give it a little sparkle and bling. And then on the inside, I stamped just some of those leaves. And on the envelope, I colored the hat and the flowers, and then stamped a little cluster of leaves on the flap. I really love the pretty peacock color with the fall colors. It's absolutely beautiful. All right, so that is alternative project number 6. We're almost done. I have one left to share with you. Alternative project number 7. This one I'm using a lot more of those little die cut pieces. There are a ton of them. I mean, look, there are a lot. You're going to be able to make a lot of alternative projects with this kit. So I put a few of them on dimension, so it made it look like a pile of leaves again. And then this is a granny apple green scalloped circle, and then a whisper white stitch circle. I've put the double die cut pumpkins down, and then the dimensional with the other pumpkin, and give thanks. And then I put a piece of linen thread instead of the white or black twine, because I wanted something a little more earthy and neutral. So I put that on there, and then on the inside of the card, just a couple of the little die cut leaves, and the same on the envelope. So that's how I've decorated the inside and the envelope for that project. And that is the last of my alternative projects for today. Now, I will come back here and show you. I've got already stamped one of those witch hats. And I wanted to show you how I color the pumpkins and the leaves. And so let me get my scrap paper. I have learned to put a piece of scrap paper behind my project when I'm using Stampin' blends. And I'm going to be using the dark pumpkin pie and the dark mango melody. And you know, as many Stampin' Up! Demonstrators as there are, that's how many different ways to use Stampin' blends there are. So I will tell you that my way may be totally different than some other demonstrator that you follow. And it doesn't make either one of us right or wrong. We're both right because they're all fabulous. Beverly says she never heard of or saw a cracker box before. She was thinking she wouldn't use it at all. Boy, was she wrong. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, they're so sweet and so much fun. You know, I'm not entirely sure if it's the origination of cracker boxes or not, but my family are of German descent, at least on my mother's side. And German tradition shows it at Christmas time, especially. So it's been around for centuries, actually. But they're just adorable. They're a lot of fun, and you put little treats and little trinkets and always a good year wish for the next year. So they're a lot of fun. All right, let me show you how I'm going to color that pumpkin. And I've also got light and dark old olive, so I'll do the leaves as well. But the pumpkin is super simple and easy. What I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to take the pumpkin pie, and I'm just going to color around the top, sides, and bottom of the pumpkin. I'm going to leave the center completely white. And you don't have to leave a whole lot. It really doesn't matter. Okay, this is not an exact science. And then I'm going to take my dark Mango Melody and I'm just going to color specifically in the center. And then start focusing to kind of spread out towards the outer. So I'm covering over the edges of the dark pumpkin pie so that it blends together. That's literally all I do, and it makes a beautiful, dimensional, and fabulously colored pumpkin. That is the lazy girl's way to highlight and shadow. Now, I'll show you how I do my leaves, which is equally as simple. I take the dark color first, and I just give a little squiggle along the base, closest to the subject picture, in this case the pumpkin, and then squiggle up the vein of the leaf. Same with the stem. And then that's it. And then I come back with the light color and blend it in. And that is literally all I do. This girl is not super technical. I don't know how to do some of the fancier ways of doing Stampin' blends. And I haven't really had time to sit down and try to learn those ways yet, but these ways work really well for now, and they make a beautiful look, so I go with it. So there you go, there's the leaves. And then for this particular one, I did Light Pretty Peacock and dark Cajun Craze. And for the Cajun Craze, I did the little hat band, so I'll just tap a little color in there. And for the Light Pretty Peacock on the hat, I colored the bottom side first, and I like to use the same marker for highlight and shadow. I don't know if you know that you can do that, but if you do, it doesn't give you too many solid harsh lines to worry about. So I like doing that. You can tap lightly to get a lighter color, and you can tap a little darker to get a darker color. And then you can go over it a second time to get more intense color. So I like just using the one color, or the one, light or dark. Here we go. And it's somewhat difficult to talk and concentrate coloring at the same time. But you get the idea. So if I go slightly out of the lines, it's because I can't talk and color at the same time, clearly. There we go. Now, one thing I will say as a quick note for coloring with Stampin' Blends, I don't leave the tip of my marker on the paper for any length of time. Okay? I don't leave it on there for very long, because if you do, the alcohol ink will saturate into your paper. It will spread. It will make it look awful. And now see how it's already starting to dry over here where I colored first, and so it's lightening up. So the whole thing is going to lighten up more than it is right now. So that's why I did this side first, because then I can come back along and just go over it again with the same light marker. You see? And it will create the shadow. I don't have to use the light and the dark. That's not always the case, but oftentimes you can get away with doing that. And so now I'm just kind of going around the edges of the items that are on the brim of the hat, And so that'll create a little shadow and texture there. And then I want to put just a little right here in the crook of the hat, just like so. Okay. And then for the dots inside of the flowers, I use the Dark Mango Melody and just put a little dot, kind of like a star. And then once it's all dry, I fussy cut around it and then add a little bit of sparkle, and it's beautiful and it's done. So, all right, friends, well, there you go. I hope that you have enjoyed the projects today. And if you don't have your kit yet, I know that some of you still didn't have your kits yet, and I'm so sorry for that. I hate that that's going on. Know that it's not Stampin' Up. It's everything, you know. It's COVID that's got shipping going crazy, and it's just things in general. So if we can just hang tight and you know, just try to wait it out and deal with it the best we can, then hopefully things will be remotely back to normal at some point, hopefully relatively soon. So here we go. Let me put these projects here so we can lay them all out at least, and you can see them all again. So there we go. There are the alternative projects, and I'm going to keep working with this kit because it's been a lot of fun. I stayed up quite a bit later than I should have last night putting these together because I wanted to make sure that I still had some alternative projects for you, and I really didn't want to reschedule if we didn't have to. And I just had so much fun putting them together. It was just a lot of fun. So I hope that you guys like the projects, and don't forget to post pictures of your own alternative projects in the Paper Pumpkin groupies. I'd love to see them. And again, I want to thank Miss Catherine Hall for her absolutely ingenious idea for the tray. That really helped out, being able to have all of those supplies laid out in an organizer where I could see everything. So if you haven't already got yours sorted out, this was a super simple and easy project to do. And mine is a few more little cubbies, but they all fit on the base of the chipboard like Miss Catherine suggested on hers, and I just put a little piece of ribbon on each side instead of making a tab like she did. So very simple and easy project to do. She did an amazing job. Go check out her little video on the groupies page, and she even put dimensions on there so that you can see how she did hers. So alright guys, thank you again so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed all of the projects. Go make up some of these little crackers and fill them with goodies, and leave them in fabulous places for all kinds of fun people to check out and give them smiles. Alright guys, have a wonderful day. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will talk to you later. Bye for now.